10 years ago, in January 2015, I started my YouTube channel with some videos about building my first shed to use as my workshop. And if someone was to tell me back then that in 10 years' time I'd be doing this as a full-time job, there's no way I would have believed them. Before I started my channel, I was a major consumer of videos on YouTube, mainly woodworking stuff, but I noticed that nobody is really making videos about making stuff from salvaged materials, and that was what I was really passionate about, so I felt like I'd spotted maybe a bit of a gap in the market. I was surprised at how quickly the channel gained momentum, particularly because the videos back then weren't really that good. But it felt great to be earning something from what was essentially a hobby, particularly because I'd already spent 20 years of my life playing in bands and never really earned any money from it. In the earlier years of the channel, I was working a full-time day job, and when the YouTube channel became a thing, I registered as a sole trader, keeping records of finances and doing tax returns while working that job. For the first couple of years, consistently and regularly putting out woodworking videos definitely worked. That strategy hasn't necessarily worked in more recent years though, more on that later. Most of my business's income comes from the ad revenue for the adverts that YouTube integrates into my videos. There are other earnings too, which I'll talk about later, but as far as YouTube earnings go, in year one, it took about 6 months for YouTube to accept the channel for monetization. I uploaded a total of 22 videos that year and earned £626, that's about £28 per video, which when you consider that I predominantly make project videos, which take on average around 30 hours to make, that's less than £1 an hour. However, this will improve over time because in subsequent years, not only will the channel be monetized for the entire year rather than just 6 months, but also my back catalogue of videos will continue to earn revenue in addition to the new videos I put out each year. In year two, I put out 60 videos. No idea how I did that while working a full-time job, by the way. You'll also see a big peak towards the end of the year. It's just because the companies who want to advertise their products or services on YouTube tend to pay more for their ads to be shown on YouTube in the run-up to Christmas. Total earnings for this year, £2,172. In 2017, 2 years after starting the channel and seeing it grow, I was starting to think about whether I could turn this hobby into a jobby. And in an attempt to bring in more revenue, I started to do woodworking commissions, making custom items to sell, restoring furniture, restoring kitchen work surfaces, and selling products online via Etsy. This added another income stream to the business, and I could also make videos documenting the project, so it seemed like a win-win. I carried on doing that for about 3 years, even taking on a couple of commercial projects, one for a local barbershop and one for a local radio studio. Did it work? For a while, it definitely did. Commissions and sales were bringing in about 30% of the business's overall revenue. At one point though, I had 2 particularly difficult customers. One was on a dartboard case commission and the other on a dining table commission, and it was stressful, and to be honest, it kind of put me off. Plus, after doing it for a while, I really wanted to make more of the things that I wanted to make rather than things that other people wanted me to make. So I started being much more fussy about what commission work I took on. With regard to sales on Etsy, that worked well too, although I'm really not a fan of it, mainly because all the traffic to my Etsy store seemed to be coming from my YouTube channel rather than anything that Etsy were doing. And yet they take some pretty high fees from sellers, plus you'll hear all sorts of horror stories about what a bad company Etsy is. I've since opened a store on Fourth Wall for all my plans and products, which I much prefer. Also in 2017, I started a Patreon page offering additional exclusive videos, early access to my YouTube videos, free plans and cut lists, and name credits at the end of my videos. In the early days, it was hugely helpful to have a consistent monthly income from the incredibly kind people who wanted to help support the channel. And for 3 years, it continued to gain momentum. For the past 5 years though, it has flatlined, and while I'm obviously eternally grateful for those who contribute, I've always found it a struggle to find the right balance between finding the time to make exclusive content for channel members that sits behind a paywall, in addition to making YouTube videos available to everyone. I'll talk more about the earnings from Patreon and from everything else later in the video. In year 3, I posted another 60 videos. The total earnings were £5,666. In 2018, I took on my first tool exclusivity deal or sponsorship with Hitachi Tools, who later rebranded to Hikoki Metabo HPT. I'd been offered sponsorships prior to this that I'd turned down, but this one felt like a perfect fit for the channel. I absolutely loved their tools, so being paid to use them and getting sent them to use for free was a no-brainer. Of course, I got a few negative comments, but I feel like the vast majority of viewers understood that it was an enabler to me continuing to make videos, as prior to this, the business wasn't making anywhere near enough money to sustain things. This sponsorship resulted in me being able to reduce hours at my day job, going from working 5 days a week to 3. So I had more time to make videos, and that was very exciting. So did it work? From my perspective, yes, definitely. Also in 2018, I collaborated with one of my YouTube woodworking heroes. After being asked in a Q&A video who my dream collaborator would be, I said it would be John Heiss. Somehow he saw that video, commented saying he'd be happy to collaborate. We exchanged some ideas over emails and collaborated on a project which was a dream come true for me and a total honour. And as if that wasn't enough, the video did really well and brought in over 9,000 subscribers. Speaking of collaborations, I also launched a new series of videos where I asked a series of quickfire questions to some of my favourite YouTube makers. Lots of laughs were had and it was great to get to know some brilliant people, many of whom I'm happy to say have since become good friends. Unfortunately though, the videos didn't do well, so after the 6th episode it was discontinued. And finally in 2018 I launched 2 homemade wood finishing oil wax products, an original and a food safe version, and these sold really well for me over the years and got some great feedback. Later in 2022 I launched a 3rd one, a clear version. I sold well over 1,000 pots of these products. But in 2023, with the cost of ingredients increasing and profit margins being tight, and my time availability decreasing with the news that we were expecting a new addition to the family, I ultimately decided to discontinue all 3 products. So year 4 was a very busy year. I put out 74 videos, more than usual, partly because of moving to part-time at my day job, and the earnings this year were £7,309. In 2019, the channel hit 100,000 subscribers and I got my plaque from YouTube, which was a huge accomplishment and it's very precious to me. My partner and I also moved home this year into the bungalow that we are in now, where I was excited to set up my new workshop, which was about 3 times bigger than my previous shed workshop. There was a lot of work to be done, installing a ceiling, insulating everything, filling in an inspection pit and building a wall. In year 5, I put out 59 videos and the earnings were £9,419. In 2020, I got approached about working with Milwaukee Tools in a new tool sponsorship deal after the previous Hikoki one had ended some time ago. I haven't spoken about this yet on my channel, so only my channel members know about this, but unfortunately for my business, as of January 2025, the channel is no longer sponsored by Milwaukee, which has had a huge effect on the financial side of my business, which I'll talk about later in the video. Obviously, I'm really grateful for the support and the opportunity to have worked with them, and I think it proved to be a success both for my business and for Milwaukee. As for why they ended it, I think they want to work with Instagram influencers instead of an old man who rummages through bins, skips and alleyways looking for materials. Also in 2020, with loads of work needing to be done to our bungalow, I started to diversify the content on my channel away from woodworking to woodworking and DIY, with plenty of renovation work to be done. It gave me something new to get excited about, and the DIY videos very quickly started to outperform the woodworking videos. So that felt like a big success and it kept things interesting for me. Also in 2020, in the midst of a major global pandemic going on, which was obviously terrible in so many ways, those making videos and putting them online were seeing a boost in numbers and therefore money, because a lot of people were spending much more time at home, consuming a lot more video content. I was still working part-time at my day job, but I'd always promised myself that as soon as I could earn more from my business than I was earning from my day job, I would quit. So I did. I handed in my notice and became a full-time content creator, and I haven't really looked back since. I also built my 2nd shed this year, which went on to spawn my most successful video ever, garnering about 2.5 million views on YouTube and over 20 million on Facebook. Madness. In year 6, 66 videos published and £18,397 earned. I also made a handmade engagement ring box around this time. Why? Because in 2021, I got married to Ria. Definitely my biggest success yet. The bungalow renovation work continued, as did the woodworking videos. Also this year, my friend Matt from Badger Workshop and I launched a woodworking podcast called Workshop Banter. We have done 43 episodes. It's always great fun chatting with Matt, and it did really quite well, regularly climbing to the top of the Craft Podcasts chart, and with each episode being published to YouTube in video form too. Unfortunately though, each episode took a lot of time, effort and money to produce, and we struggled to find regular sponsors, so for the time being, it's on a bit of a hiatus. In year 7, 52 videos were published and £27,521 in earnings. 2022 saw some workshop changes as I attempted block laying and pebble dash rendering for the first time, and also collaborations with both Stuart on his Proper DIY channel and Robin Clever and Ed Harris, who kindly converted a flat roof on our bungalow to a pitched roof. It was an honour to work with them, of course. I also made what at the time I considered to be my best ever project, which was a double bed frame made from timber salvaged from the demolition of our lean-to. I loved that project, but it's no longer my favourite. More on that shortly. In year 8, 50 videos were published and the earnings were £29,520. In 2023, we welcomed baby Brown to the family, although nowadays he's known as Toddler Brown. There was one major job that needed doing to the bungalow, which spawned another collaboration when Aidan from the Aidan Project offered to help me dig a monumental new drainage soakaway, probably the hardest day's graft I've ever done in my life. In year 9, 41 videos were published, earnings were £35,172, which brings us to 2024, when I started taking on ad integrations in my videos, having pretty much turned down every single offer I'd had in the previous 8 years. So what changed? Firstly, I now have a family to support, so leaving good money on the table suddenly didn't seem to be all that sensible. Secondly, I felt like there was a bit of a shift in the audience understanding just how important sponsorships were to creators, because ad revenue from the ads that YouTube displays in videos simply doesn't bring in enough for most content creators to function. I continue to be fussy as far as sponsorships are concerned. I'm still turning down the majority of brand deals that I get offered, but I will continue to do them whenever I feel there's a good fit. I also launched a new series of videos called Junk Hunt, where I basically go out looking for discarded materials and then make something from whatever I find. We're currently 3 episodes in, and the last I did in collaboration with Matt from Badger Workshop, which was great fun. This has been a huge success for my channel, as each one is bringing in a crazy amount of new subscribers. I also made what I now consider to be my best ever project, an extending dining table. Unfortunately, the video didn't do all that well, although subsequently it seems to be picking up a lot of views, and the number of project plans I've sold for that project far exceeds any other plan that I've ever made. And I built a third shed this year, the biggest yet, this time for my brother, and this time I made detailed plans and cut lists, which I sold online, and they sold really well. I also launched my first and probably only ever online course for those aspiring to be or looking to develop their skills as content creators. Feedback from the course has been incredible, and we've established a nice community of up-and-coming content creators on Discord. From a business perspective though, it took me 3 weeks of scripting, filming and editing. I worked out I needed to sell about 40 courses to break even, and to date I've only sold 36. In year 10, I put out 40 videos and the earnings were £50,100. Here's a look at the overall earnings over time. £186,595 earned for 525 videos uploaded, which works out as an average of £355 earned per video. Those videos have had 52.8 million views since the channel started, which equates to 4.6 million hours of watch time. And if I divide the earnings by the total views, you'll see that on average I earn 0.0035 pence per view. And if we put that earnings number into the average time spent on each video versus earnings formula that I used earlier, I'm now earning around £11.83 per video, which is just over minimum wage. Until May 2025, that is, when the minimum wage goes up to £12.21. There are other earnings and outgoings to consider though, which is good, because without these, the business wouldn't be making enough to sustain itself. And this really is a business, by the way. In the past few years, the business operates as a limited company, employing me as a sole director. In terms of outgoings, things like taxes, accountancy fees, tools, materials, equipment, insurances, all the costs of doing business, that stuff usually amounts to around £15,000 a year for me. In addition to that, I pay myself a small salary from the business of around £10,000, which then gets topped up by things like dividend and pension payments from the business to me, which, as I understand, is a pretty standard way of doing things in a tax efficient way, as advised by most good accountants. When you deduct those outgoings from the YouTube earnings, it does some real damage to the numbers. So that's where my other income comes into play. YouTube earnings accounts for about 44% of my business's income. The rest is made up of about 24% sponsorships, 12% Facebook earnings, 12% affiliate income, 6% Patreon support, and 2% product sales, things like digital plans and the occasional handmade item that I might sell online. So basically the business is earning enough to support what I do, which is amazing. However, it also feels finite and with a high level of risk. You see, the thing is, my business relies almost entirely on platforms like YouTube, Facebook, Patreon, and Amazon. Without those platforms, I've really got nothing. It's a bit like I'm running a lemonade stand on someone else's land. If the landowner wants to turf me out, or if anything happens to that land, for example, it floods, I basically have to start again from scratch, and that's pretty scary. So my strategy at this point is basically to keep running the business as frugally as possible, keeping the outgoings low and keeping as much money in the business as possible. That way, when things go wrong, at least I can carry on paying myself a salary from the business while I figure out what I'm going to do next and how on earth I make it through to retirement. Obviously, this video shows just how many different things I've tried over the years to keep the business growing, and there are probably just as many successes as there are failures. Basically throwing enough stuff at the wall to see what sticks. And I know from speaking to other content creators that the things that work for them are very different to the things that work for me. And it's just a case of finding those things that work. What I do as a content creator is the dream job in so many ways. The best job I ever had, the most inspiring, the most exciting, the most freedom. But it's also the most stressful, the most responsibility, and the longest hours I've ever worked each and every week. It's been a great journey so far, and long may it continue. Thank you for watching.